Shalom. I want to start off by saying Kal Halal Yom Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the head apostles of GMS and a salute to you Watkins that are tuning in. I'm the servant the bar coming back with another show. This time I have an article here this is by usnews.com. The heading says U.S. concerned about India's participation in Russia military exercises. Now, this article is from August 30th, which would be today. Yesterday, right? So this is lately what's going on. Now, all these other countries are sick and tired of Esau, man. They're tired of the so-called white man breaking pacts, playing both sides of the fence, man. You know, from one side, concerning India, if you know what's going on, the United States has backed India in certain parts, but it also backs Pakistan. Now, Pakistan and India are in a feud because, which they're the same people. They're all Elamites. Okay, they're Elamites. They're one nation, but they don't agree in certain things. And the United States, as it is written and prophesied, sits in bed with all these kings, man. You know, with the king of Pakistan and with the king of India. Okay, with Mahdi and I forgot the other guy's name. Mahdi, I believe, is the current president of India. Okay, and this is what these Elamites are saying. You know, that they can no longer trust this place, and they shouldn't. All right, because we understand, you know, through the scriptures, what's at stake when you deal with the devil, man. You know, if that old saying goes, if you play with fire, you get burned. All right. And you can just take a look at the so-called white man's history. All right. There's another saying that says he that doesn't learn from history is bound to repeat it. All right. This man has broken treaties left and right. He came here to the so-called North American Indians, had treaties with them and broke every single one of them. Not only that, but even with all these, even with all the other nations, man, you know, break treaties, change treaties. You know, he does all kind of wickedness, man, and these nations ain't having it. I'm gonna read a couple paragraphs from here. It says the United States is concerned about India's plans to participate in joint military exercises with Russia. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said on Tuesday. Last month, Moscow announced plans to hold Vostok East exercises from August 30th to September 5th, even as it wages a costly war in Ukraine. The military exercises are expected to include China, India, Belarus, Mongolia, Tajikistan, and other countries. China's defense ministry has said. Asked about India's participation, Jean-Pierre told reporters as President Joe Biden flew to Pennsylvania that the United States was concerned about any country participating in military exercises with Russia while it is a war in Ukraine. Now, there could be many different outcomes with this, okay? If any of these countries that are in league with Russia decides to send a type of help in Ukraine or send troops over there, you best believe that the United States or any of its allies will also move in troops in Ukraine's aid, okay, which can lead to an open war between the NATO alliance and Russia and the alliance that they got going on, okay. So, you know, we're looking at World War III, man. You know, it's right now, it's almost at a boiling point, man. It's at any given time, this thing could pop off full circle, all right? But we understand this prophecy's got to be fulfilled, right? But, this is how close we are, okay? This is how close we are. Nobody trusts America anymore, okay? India used to be a good American ally. Now they're siding with Russia, man. Now, this is prophecy. Let's get into it. Ezekiel 38 says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, and the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against them, and say, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Now, Gog in the land of Gog and Magog is where these Russians are currently at today. Okay. Now it says that the Lord is going to stand beside them or against them, which means with them. Okay. In this sense, against, not going contrary to them, but meaning backing them up, making these so-called Russians do what they do. Okay. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen. And as we can see, Russia is pretty much spearheading this uprising of these nations, man. It's always been the big Red Scare, the commies, against America, and even that spirit of Cold War still lingers today. All right, which we're fighting basically a new Cold War, which is soon to get hot, man. Basically we are fighting a new Cold. We got a proxy war going on, right, with this Ukraine conflict, which America is pretty much giving weapons and arming the Ukrainians, which that's fighting Russia basically, because if you arm my enemy and you keep supplying them with arms, that's you're my enemy as well, because you're pretty much putting the people and making them ready. It ain't much different from an American and a Ukrainian, an American soldier and a Ukrainian soldier. It's just that one is called American, the other is called Ukraine. All right, so that's a proxy war going on, right? It says all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. Now these Persians are these modern day Iranians. They're also doing works. All right. You got the state of Israelis. The Israelis are in a feud with these Persians. All right, and the primary issue with them is the development of nuclear weapons. But I believe and I know that these Iranians, these which are Persians or the Medes, ancient Medes, they've already developed nuclear capability. All right, because this is the only way they're able to talk the talk. And also, as we're reading here, they're backed up by Russia in their pact. So if Iran is attacked, Russia will come into the aid, man. Now, you can't sleep on Russia just because of certain setbacks and failures in Ukraine. Russia holds the biggest nuclear arsenal on the planet. So any country that fights Russia, at the end of the day, you talking nuclear, man, and that's not gonna be pretty. Let me get this. Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. This is preparation of war. What we're reading in this article is a preparation of war. Nations have chosen sides, all right, as we can see, and they're preparing to go to war. Okay? You don't prepare for something unless you know something's imminent, man. If you knew something wasn't imminent or not in the possibility to the stakes, you wouldn't be preparing. Holding war exercises. Okay? Now, this is Joel the 3:9, which is talking about this world war. Okay? As a matter of fact, Joel 3. Let me start. Yeah, Joel 3:9. Yeah, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Be your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spear. Let the weak say, I'm strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Till the cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So, at the end of the day, all these heathens are going to come together, to try to fight each other, whatever it is. And that's where the Lord is gonna make the decision, man. Where the Lord's gonna stomp them. Okay, and this is what we're seeing here. Okay, this is what we're seeing here. Also, Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter, where it talks about the Lord sending a trap, putting a trap, and these nations being prey. The Lord is pretty much putting the spirit of war among these nations to go to war with each other so that He can destroy them. All right. Now, out of all this, it's gonna come the destruction of America, because you have India, which also holds. I believe India is either the third. Yes, I think it's the third country in the world with the most nuclear missiles. Okay. If we go here and see how many. Okay, 160 nuclear warheads, man. That's a lot of nukes. Okay. And even Israel has only 90 nukes. Okay. Pakistan has 165 nukes. Okay. So that's a lot of nukes, man. But the scriptures say that all the nukes all around is gonna drop here in America primarily, okay? America will be completely annihilated. That's what's coming out of this. Jeremiah 50:9, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. Now, this is modern day Babylon, America, because it's known. Babylon is the word is Babel, which it's a Hebrew word for confusion. This is the nation of confusion. It says from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. So this is saying that arrows will be shot, right? That the assembly of nations, right, will shoot some arrows. Okay, now these arrows is symbolic, for nuclear missiles. As a matter of fact, I believe the term for one of the when a missile gets lost in America, it's called broken arrow. Okay, that's the military term for it. All right, when something happens to a nuclear missile, and it looks like an arrow too. It says so. It says their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Right? Because once these nukes are shot, man, they go with straight precision to the target. And it's not like they can come back and, come back on the silo, man. Once they launch, that's it. That's it. So this is what it's talking about here. Nukes. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, said the Lord. And truth be told, these nations can't wait, man. These nations, because they're sick and tired, of America's dealings, treacherous dealings, man. And not only America, because I say America because this is the hammer of the elites, man. But they're sick and tired of the rulership of the so-called white man, of the elites of the world, man. They're sick and tired, This is Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And that's what Babylon offers, man. The wine, the philosophy, the wickedness, in order for you to do business and trade, you gotta follow some type of democracy, and not everybody wants that way of life, Matthew 24:7, of course, it says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in the various places. And this is concerning the last days. So we're living upon the last days, all right? Because we have nations that are rising up against nations. Okay, we got alliance of nations rising up against another alliance of nations. All right, and this is all full circling back around to war. Okay, this is the last days, man. So all these prophecies are coming to pass, man. America, got one thing in store for her, and that is absolute annihilation through nuclear fire, as is prophesied in the scriptures. Revelations, the 18th chapter, also talks about Babylon being a desert, man. What's going to make that possible is nuclear fire. Okay? So this is not something far-fetched, all right? So this is coming, man. So